Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Quick Expert Reviews. Today I've decided I'm gonna compare Android to iOS. I think the most productive Android tablet, which is a Sony Z4 Tab, and the most productive iOS tablet, which is an iPad Pro. So yeah, they're both supplied with official keyboards. The one with this Z4, it comes boxed with the tablet. The one on an iPad, you have to buy it separately. That's a 9.7-inch iPad Pro, just to let you know, not the 10.5. So yeah, I'm going to compare the experience, I'm going to compare the productivity, even going to do a bit of gaming. So that's the iPad. As you can see, yeah, drag and drop, so nothing major on iOS. And so that's the keyboard itself. I'm going to show you how to attach that to the tablet itself. And so it works on it's called a smart connector, and it works as a magnet. Yeah. Let's see how strong it is when we attach it properly. Yeah, you can actually lift the keyboard. So it's quite strong, to be honest, and it works pretty well. Yeah, it reminds me of that old game when I was like 6 years old. I had like a fishing pole with magnet, and I was fishing for like magnet fishes. But yeah, it doubles up as a case. You can buy a smart cover as well, so it covers the back, and it's got the nice cutouts for the smart connector. So again, that's the iOS itself. That's a 10.3.2. it's not a beta. If you press Command and space, you've got like a spotlight search like you do on a MacBook. You do have commands because you don't have any function keys on the keyboard itself, so you do have some shortcuts. So Command and H is like pressing the home button. It goes back to the main menu, the kind of like a dashboard. And when you press and hold the command key, the one on the left hand side, it shows you the shortcuts in the app. So you do have kind of like a multitasking, so you can have like, it's called split view. You can split two apps. However, it doesn't work with every app. So as you can see, I can do it with Safari and Excel. So on the left, Safari, on the right, you've got the Excel spreadsheets. But it doesn't work with every app, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, you can adjust the windows and so on. So in terms of productivity, it's decent. But when you open like a AliExpress app, and for example, you want to buy something from AliExpress and you want to add it in a spreadsheet, you can do it, but you cannot adjust the window. There's no slider, so that's all you get. You can't really multitask, because as soon as you start typing, it's fine, but then when you click back on AliExpress, the whole spreadsheet hides, as you can see. So it's alright, but it's not the best experience you can have. So again, back to Excel, you can add some value. So let's say you're buying some stuff and you want to work out how much you're going to earn and so on. It won't work. Unfortunately, the same case is with eBay, so you can't again adjust anything on an Excel. You can do it with iOS numbers, but obviously you can only use numbers on iOS device or a Mac, so you can't use it on like any other devices. Where Microsoft Excel you can use on Windows Phone, you can use on iOS, you can use on Android and so on. So as you can see, I can't do anything, and as soon as I go back to eBay, the multitasking video vanishes. So like I said, when you hold the command button, it shows you what shortcuts you've got, and when you hold the command button in an app, it shows you additional shortcuts. So for example, command and left bracket, it's you go backwards on a website, so you go to the previous website and so on, so on. So it's pretty decent in my opinion. So let's hide the keyboard and let's have a look at the Sony Z4 Tab. Okay, a bit reflective. So as you can see, this looks like a proper keyboard, and it actually feels like a proper keyboard. There is a lot more space. Camera went sideways. Let me fix that, just a second guys. Okay, we're back on track. So in terms of the keyboard itself, you've got like the multitasking button, so you press it and it shows you your recently used apps, but I'll show you what else it does later on in the video. It feels more natural to type on that keyboard. You've got the shortcut button, you've got the functional buttons on top, so when you press and hold FN, you can adjust the brightness of the screen, the volume and everything, which you can't do on an iPad, for example, but it is what it is. The camera is a bit temperamental. So let's open eBay app and let's have a look. Well, we're really struggling with the brightness. So that's the Microsoft Excel. Now you press the multitasking button twice, it goes to the previous app, which is eBay, and then again you can switch between both apps very fast. Like I said, just press the multitasking button twice. So let's open a test spreadsheet and let's have a look at how it works in terms of multitasking. So yep, you press and hold the multitasking button and it shows you your recently used apps, and as you can see I can freely use Excel and eBay. I can adjust the window as well, but something I couldn't do on iOS unless it's a native app like Numbers, I can freely use. Obviously we've got a touchpad as well, so apart from being able to connect a Bluetooth mouse, which you can do as well, you can use the built-in trackpad, which is, to be honest, it feels cheap, it's poorly made. I would only use it as a last resort if you don't have a Bluetooth mouse, but it does its job if you need anything. But as you can see, in terms of productivity, in terms of multitasking, again, brightness went out of the roof. Wow, through the roof. You can do that. Now, what you can also do is, hello, having fun today. You can see that the Excel spreadsheet has moved to the left, so it shows me that that's my previously used app. So if I go to another app, I'll remember that I've used the Microsoft Excel before because it shows on the left. So as you can see, it doubles up as kind of like a case as well. It doesn't protect the tab, but it doesn't work on a magnet. You've got like a hinge where you just drop the tablet and it fits nicely. So that's the tablet itself, very light, very nice, 10.1 inch screen, 2K and so on. So as you can see, you can also adjust the angles of the screen as well. So because it's a hinge, it's not like a magnet, you can change the angle of the screen. Now this is what happens when you connect the keyboard. You've got like a kind of like a Windows start menu, so it shows you your recently used apps and so on. You can obviously freely edit that. So if you like, you can add certain apps. You can go to the settings. As you can see on the bottom, I've got like a quick start menu, like a row of apps, which I can adjust as well. So again, in terms of productivity, pretty decent. But after we've done all the spreadsheets, we can now do some gaming. So with both tablets, I'm going to use official controllers. So with a Sony Tab, you can pair a PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 controller, which is what we are doing now. It's pretty simple. You just press and hold home and share, or home and options actually, and you've got the controller. So you can use it with emulators, you can use it with Android games. So we're gonna play a bit of Shadowgun, and let's have a look. So Shadowgun Dead Zone. Yep, so pretty straightforward. Left stick move, right stick look around, R2 shoot, square reload. Pretty decent Gears of War ripoff. I'm yet to finish that game, to be honest. I think I prefer Unkilled and Dead Trigger rather than Shadowgun, but yeah, it's pretty decent. As you can see, it runs pretty well as well. The graphics are pretty decent, but that's a bit of a downside of an Android tab. So it's obviously a Snapdragon processor, 810 if I remember correctly. So the games like Unkilled or anything like that, they do lag a bit. Where on iOS, it's when you buy a device and you're into gaming, you know it's going to last you at least 3-4 years when the games will start slowing down, lagging and so on. So yeah, let's unlock the tab, and that's the SteelSeries Nimbus controller. So that's the officially supported controller. Again, pretty straightforward. You turn the Bluetooth on and you pair it with your tab. So we're gonna play GTA San Andreas, which should change the car. Looks like a Mazda RX-7 to be honest, rip-off. But yeah, both devices can be connected to a telly. If you don't have an Apple TV, you can buy a Lightning to HDMI adapter, which is 32 quid in UK. In terms of a Sony, you can buy an MHL to HDMI cable, or you can do, if you've got a smart TV, you can do smart mirroring, but bear in mind the latency is a bit cramped, and in terms of gaming there is a bit of a lag. So yeah, that's the controller that you should buy and use with an Apple TV. And here we're gonna test the lap comfort. So as you can see, it's sturdy, but the keys themselves, there's not a lot of travel when you press them, and it's not that comfortable. Where with a Sony tab, it's decent, you can adjust it, but if you adjust it to the very end, it kind of collapses. But again, the keyboard, the keys themselves, there is a lot of travel. It feels like a normal keyboard. So yeah, that's all I wanted to tell you about these two tabs. See you next time.